Hello, ladies, gentlemen. Happy New Year. This is the only thing that I could find that would even remotely look celebratory or like a Happy New Year thing. I had these giant glasses that had like stars on them, but I can't find them, so whatever. Let's sit down and record this video. This is day 14 of my holiday season slash New Year series. For any of you that might be feeling a little alone over the New Year, over Christmas, over that period, I don't want you to feel so alone, so I'm here to say hello. So, Happy New Year. As I release this video, it will be New Year in Australia and maybe almost New Year for some of you in America and different countries. I hope you had a beautiful 2023. If you did, I'm very happy for you. Maybe leave a comment below and share your biggest win with us. And if you didn't have a great 2023, that's okay. Right now, you can pause the video and you can take one tiny little baby step of action towards one of your goals, even the tiniest little baby step possible. And I'm very serious about this. Pause the video right this second. This is your call out, and go take that tiny little baby step. Then come back here, leave a comment, tell us what you did, tell us that baby step you took, and then just keep taking those tiny little baby steps. And every tiny little baby step is worth celebrating, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. As we come into 2024, maybe you can think about what you want your life to be like, who you want to be, what you want to accomplish. If you'd like help with any of those goals, obviously I have coaching. Maybe this is the year that you finally sign up for it and push yourself. If not, that's beautiful too. But as you start thinking about these goals, you might have this feeling of, it's not possible for me. You might have a ton of limiting beliefs. You might have all these excuses like, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I couldn't do that, it would take too long, it would be too hard, that's not who I am, I'm too short, I'm too old, I'm too this, it's too late for me, I don't live in a good country. All of these limiting beliefs or these excuses, these avoidance things. And that's okay. It's okay to have limiting beliefs and doubts and insecurities and to be convinced that it won't work. But you can play the game or play this fun little exercise of asking yourself, if I literally wasn't capable of having this limiting belief, like literally I wasn't capable of thinking this belief, what action would I take right now? If I literally couldn't think that I'm too old, like if I just wasn't even capable of thinking that I'm too old, or it's too late, or I could never do it, or I'm not good enough, or whatever, if I didn't even believe that I wasn't, worthy, what action would I take right this second? And then what if you just take the tiniest little baby step towards that action that you could right now? If you're sitting there wanting to lose weight and go to the gym, you want 2024 to be the year that you finally lose weight, but you think, I couldn't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I'm not a fit person. I've always been fat. Everyone in my family is fat. So of course I'm fat too. What if you take one tiny little baby step towards being a little leaner? What if you just go onto Google and research 3 gyms in your area? And that's all you have to do for today. Just research 3 gyms. Literally Google the name of 3 gyms in your area. You don't have to click on those links. You do not have to go to those gyms. I know that can be scary. Just Google 3 gyms in your area. And then tomorrow, wake up and do one more baby step. And maybe the baby step that you do tomorrow is you click on those 3 links and you have a look where they are and if they're in your area and if they offer some sort of free trial. And then maybe the next day you go, maybe I will go to one of them and I'll just drive there and I'll sit in my car in the car park and I won't get out because that's too scary. I can't do that yet. I'm not confident enough yet. I'll sit in my car and just look at the outside of the gym. Okay, and then I'll drive home. Maybe I'll buy myself a Starbucks or a coffee or a donut or something to celebrate for doing that because that is a big victory. Maybe I'll leave a comment on Andy's video and say, holy shit, I did it. I drove to a gym. I can't believe I did this. And then I just sat in the car and I went home. Good. And I promise you, we will celebrate that. That's amazing. And then maybe the next day you go, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to walk into the gym and I'm really scared. So I'm going to walk in the gym. I'm going to look around, see all the people and go, fuck this. And then I'm going to go home. Cool. Post about that. That's a huge victory. Then maybe the next day you walk up to the reception desk and you say, hey, do you offer a trial, a free membership? And they go, welcome to the gym. Yes, we do. We are a loving, warm community, because this is how every gym talks. We are here to love you and love your body and help you, reach your goals. And what would you like? And you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I'm really scared. But I'm really scared and no guarantees that I'm going to sign up for the gym. And they'll be like, that's okay. What are your goals? And you're like, I can't even think of goals. They're too scary. And they'll go, that's okay. do you want to try the gym? Do you want me to walk around and show you the gym? And you go, yes, please. I'm really scared. I'm not going to leave your side. I'm literally going to hang on to you really tight and just walk next to you the entire time around the gym. And you do that for that day. And then you go home and you take a big deep breath and you go, holy shit, I can't believe I was in a gym today. That's insane. And then the next day, maybe you go, I'm going to try that free gym membership. And then you just walk in there, you pick one piece of equipment that looks interesting to you, maybe a treadmill, maybe the bicep curl machine, maybe bench press, or like be gentle with bench press if you've never done it before. Pick one of the easier ones. Generally speaking, the machines where you just sit in the chair and you do something. Like it's not, you don't have to pick up dumbbells or something like that. So sit in the machines that already do something, or on the treadmill or a rowing machine. Just pick something that looks fun to you that you see somebody else doing. And do that for 5 minutes and then go home. And you just sort of slowly build up these baby steps rather than thinking, fuck, there's no way I can go to the gym and lose 50 pounds and, get over my diabetes and all of that's just too scary. That's too much shit. That's too much stuff for anyone to handle. That is not how I, Andy, have achieved any of my goals. If I thought about the goal itself and all the things that might be required to achieve that goal, I would always get too overwhelmed. So I would say, okay, what's the tiniest little baby step that I can do right now? And I would just do that. And then the next day I would do one more little baby step. And those little baby steps might seem so pathetically small and insignificant. They might seem so unbelievably tiny that it's like, how would this ever help me achieve my goal? This isn't going to lead to anything. This is just going to the gym and sitting in the car park and going home. That's pathetic. No, it's not pathetic. It's infinitely more than you could have done. It's one more thing one more step, one more piece of action that you took in the fight against entropy, in the fight against going downhill, in the fight against complacency. You literally did something when you could have done nothing. Is that not the most beautiful gift that you ever could have given yourself? And you did that. And so every little baby step builds strength, resilience, confidence. You're chalking up a list of victories so that you look at that victory list and go, wow, over the last 7 days, I did this and I got out of bed and I went for a walk and I went to the gym. And yeah, I didn't do anything in the gym. I just sat in the car park, but I sat in the fucking car park. I could have not. And then I emailed a friend that I hadn't talked to in 6 months and said, hey, how's it going? And they replied back and they were happy to talk to me. And then I said hello to a stranger outside and I wasn't going to do that, but I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. And I said, hi, how's it going? And they said, it's good, thanks. And wow, I can't believe I did that. And then I got the confidence to leave a comment on Andy's video and talk about all of this stuff, even though I was terrified that somebody would say it's pathetic and it's not worth celebrating, it's so small and blah, blah, blah. But I did all of that. Fuck. Maybe I can do things. Maybe I am capable of change. And this is how I started my self-improvement. I was depressed. I was suicidal. All I could do when my life fell apart and I moved back home with my parents and I was a complete mess who was crying for 2 weeks in a row, nonstop, all day. All I was doing was sobbing and crying until literally no sound was coming out. And then I'd just cry for another 3 hours after that. It was just nothing but fucking pain. You can't even imagine the fucking pain that was just in me being exorcised out like a demon coming out of me, just this pain. And all I was capable of was doing the dishes, making my bed. That was it. That was all I could do. And even that was the most incredible struggle at that point in time because I just wanted to die. But I did the dishes. I made my bed. And slowly but surely, I started to get a little bit of a record of the things that I was able to do. I can do the dishes every day. At least that's slightly contributing to my parents, who are going out of their way to look after me and love me when I just want to fucking die. Okay, I've at least done the dishes so they can come home and the kitchen is slightly clean. You know what? Maybe I can wipe the bench top as well. And I've made my bed. Maybe I can move the cushions around in the living room on the couch so they're in a nice place as well. Fuck it, maybe I can vacuum. And as the days turned into weeks, I started to do a tiny bit more, and then a tiny bit more, and then a tiny bit more. And before I knew it, I was cleaning the entire house. And then a few days later, I was going outside for a walk, even though I was agoraphobic and depressed and suicidal and I couldn't talk to people and all of that. And then before I knew it, a few weeks later, I'm working on my resume. And then I'm going around handing out my resume, and then I get a job. And then I'm talking to customers. And all of this built up. And before I know it, I'm going to a therapist. And then I'm going outside, and then fuck it, I'm going clubbing by myself. And then I'm going clubbing 5 nights a week by myself and meeting new people. And then I'm going clubbing completely sober by myself 5 nights a week because I'm desperate to talk to people. I'm desperate to be the exact opposite of the depressed, agoraphobic person who never left the house. I'm doing the opposite. I'm going outside 5 nights a week in a very intimidating environment, in a club, sober, alone. And I'm making amazing friendships and connections with barmen and waitresses and random strangers. And I'm meeting tourists, and I'm meeting locals, and I'm meeting women, and I'm meeting men, and I'm making friends. And before I know it, I have friends. And they're going out with me. And they're saying, how the fuck are you sober? And I'm like, I don't know. It's whatever. And then I'm telling all of this to my counselor. And she's like, wait, you're going out sober, alone, 5 nights a week, clubbing. How? I don't know, just baby steps. And so beautiful things can happen if you start with the tiniest baby step. Everything I have done, everything I have achieved has been with baby steps. And the entire time I was utterly convinced that it wasn't possible, especially not for me. I was depressed and suicidal. I was the loser in life. I felt like I was supposed to die. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be here. I really didn't feel like it was possible to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I didn't even have goals at the start. That was too scary. And I think that's been my blessing. I've always thought of myself, I don't anymore, but for the longest time, I thought of myself as unworthy and a loser. And so goals, if I would think of goals, I would get way too overwhelmed and I'd feel like I don't deserve goals. All I could think about was baby steps. That was all that my mind could comprehend. The next tiny little step. Because if I thought too many steps ahead, I'd be like, no, I'm a loser. I can't fucking do that. I can't do that step that's like, requires a lot of different, requires like motivation and willpower and all of these good things that I don't have, confidence and skills. Fuck no, I'm a fucking loser. But I can do one baby step. I'm enough of a loser to know that maybe all I'm capable of is this next tiny little baby step. So I'll just do that. And that can be my fucking mountain. That can be my victory. I got out of bed. I wanted to die and I got out of bed. That's my fucking victory. I'm going to plant my flag on that and say, this is Andy. This is what Andy is capable of. Andy got out of bed. And maybe I kill myself the next day, but at least I got out of bed that first day. And if you just take the action, even if you don't feel like you're worthy, and if you humble yourself enough to just look at the next step instead of all of the mountain or all the goals that you want to achieve, that overwhelming shit that stops you from actually doing something with your life, if you discard all of that and push all of that aside and say, I don't need to lose 50 pounds. I don't need to have an amazing sex life. I don't need to find love. I don't need to do all of this wild, amazing, crazy shit. I just want to take the next tiny baby step. If you can do that and humble that, I promise you, amazing things will happen. And I promise you, you can do it. Find the smallest step that you can do and do that. After all, if a retard like Andy, if a loser like Andy can do it, you absolutely can too.